Hello, and welcome to Ruth Reacts to Books. It is me, your host, Ruxie Ruth McGouth, and I am here today in Season 2, Episode 20, reacting to Mort by Robert Repino. This is the first in a series called The War with No Name. Now, I don't have the physical book because my library does not have the physical book for this, so I am showing you a picture of the book cover. I listened to this book on audiobook. Sorry, I'm trying to not have my ring light showing the cover, but that's what the book cover looks like. Mort, The War with No Name by Robert Repino. And so what I will do is I will read the back of the book to you. I have it pulled up here on my other screen. Then I will tell you what I rated it, and I'll tell you what I liked, what I didn't like. I'll tell you the star rating that I gave it, and I will tell you what food I picked out and about what nails I'm wearing for this book this week. All right, so let's get started. Mort. After a war with no name, a cat assassin searches for his lost love in Repino's strange, moving sci-fi epic that channels both Homeward Bound and A Canticle for Leibowitz. The war with no name has begun, with human extinction as its goal. The instigator of this war is the colony, a race of intelligent ants who for thousands of years have been silently building an army that would forever eradicate the destructive, oppressive humans. Under the colony's watchful eye, this utopia will be free of the humans' penchant for violence, exploitation, and religious superstition. As a final step in the war effort, the colony uses its strange technology to transform the surface animals into high-functioning, two-legged beings who rise up to kill their masters. Former house cat turned war hero Mort is famous for taking on the most dangerous missions and fighting the dreaded human bioweapons, EMSA. But the true motivation behind his recklessness is his ongoing search for his pre-transformation friend, a dog named Sheba. When he receives a mysterious message from the dwindling human resistance claiming that Sheba is alive, he begins a journey that will take him from the remaining human strongholds to the heart of the colony, where he will discover the source of EMSA and the ultimate fate of all Earth's creatures. Dun, dun, dun. So this book was recommended to me by my dear, dear friend, Azalea. And I thought about Zales a lot while I was reading this book. And I was like, Zales, oh my God, why did you recommend this book to me? It's so sad. Okay. In the end, I gave this book 3.75 stars. Because thanks to Storygraph, I can give 0.25 of stars. Which I really appreciate. Because definitely books, I can't just give them one full stars anymore. This helps me a lot to be able to give those 0.25 of stars. So 3.75 is where I landed. And this was a real mind bender. I will say, like, don't read this book unless you're ready to have your mind really bent, okay? Because it was like a real serious, it's a very serious book. So, but 3.75 out of 5, that's quite high. It's a lot of stars, majority of stars. So I did like it in the end. I decided I liked it. But I did decide that, like, the next book, that I'm not going to read the next book for a while. I'm going to give myself a little break from, like, the trauma of the book. So what I liked about the book is it definitely provoked a lot of philosophical thinking. And I have a philosophy degree, so I do appreciate philosophical thinking. I'm not going to say it was comfortable philosophical thinking, but you know what? We actually do need to be uncomfortable sometimes. That is important, because it is important to think about hard things. Actually, we need to do that, people. So some of the themes that came up in this book, in this philosophical thought, were like, animal versus human, animal welfare and animal cruelty, human supremacy. And those are things that, like, not all people are probably willing to think about, but I'm willing to think about those things. And they were challenging to think about. And, like, I'm looking at my pets in a different light. And I'm looking at everyone's pets in a different light. And I'm definitely looking at ants in a different light. Every ant I see, I'm like, oh my God, is that ant going to rise up and kill me? Okay. Another theme that the book had was love, loyalty, and friendship, which was a nice theme. they talked about that in the back of the book, like that this cat, Mort, or cat creature, is seeking their friend Sheba throughout the book. That's like their main goal. While they're also going through all these other things, and the philosophy is coming to us through them, but then also the human that I'm a human. So as I was reading it, like, I'm thinking like, oh my God, as a human reading this, like, hasn't happened here yet, but if it did, my goodness. And then the other themes that were super, super interesting were like religion and military, which were, I thought they were very intertwined. It talked in the book about how religion is a theme. I try not to give spoilers on this. So there was how they tied in like current religion, and how in the book, like, you saw the religion grow, like, as the humans in the book took what had happened and they added that into their current religious lore, and like it evolved. That was super interesting as a philosopher, and that was interesting to see. And then almost on the animal side, even though they didn't necessarily have the religion part, it's almost like the military was a religion. So it was very similar, and that was really interesting. So I definitely think it's worth reading if you're willing to think big thoughts and be sad. So the things I didn't like was, like, at first, like, the first at least half is like extremely depressing for a human, and I'm a human, so it was depressing for a human to read it, and so I didn't like that part. Maybe like a little more than halfway through, it got like a little bit less depressing when maybe some things happened and like you saw maybe slightly more hope. It is super duper dystopian, very, very much. Like I said, I cannot look at ants the same way after this. I mean, obviously it's not real, but it was very, very fascinating. Very smart, like maybe one of the smartest books I've read in a long time. So if you like books that are very smart and make you think really hard, this is a good one. It's one of the most like heady books I've read in a while, which is good because I need to get out of my white bread books. I like my white bread books that talk about like books that don't have a lot of content and they're kind of like real, like my Stephanie Plum. Those are super white bread books, but they're fun and they, you know, they don't have a lot of content. But this had a lot of content, really thoughtful. Makes me think about my animals differently, the way that we treat animals. So what did I do for my food? Well, in the book, obviously, they don't eat the animals because they are the animals. So I picked out some vegetarian food to share with you today from one of my favorite vegetarian cookbook authors, Molly Katzen. I don't know that much about her background or her history, but she has quite a lot of cookbooks out there. And so I have a blog post that has made some of her recipes. And so this is the Moosewood cookbook. You can see it is well worn. I have made many of the recipes in this cookbook. And so Mexican pepper casserole is one of the ones that's in the blog post that I've posted for you. I have made this recipe many times before. Every single thing that I've ever made out of this cookbook has been delicious, and it's so healthy and delicious. So all vegetables, no animals harmed in the making of foods out of this cookbook. So definitely all good all around. No animals would be harmed in any of this. So that's what I'm sharing with you today in the recipe section. So check those out. Those are super yummy, and you can of course get this cookbook, and she has lots of other ones. The broccoli forest is another one that Molly Katzen has, but this is maybe my favorite Molly Katzen cookbook, so I just wanted to share that. It's called The New Moosewood Cookbook by Molly Katzen. Little extra book review there for you. You didn't know you were going to get cookbook review today. And then for my nails, I am wearing a beautiful orange nail today with little sparkles. It's called Copper and Spice. Got it in my subscription box because Mort, the cat you see here, is an orange cat. And so I'm wearing the orange nails in honor of the orange cat who is the hero of the book. So that's what I got for you today, folks. I will be back next week with hopefully a slightly more peppy book, but probably won't be as thought-provoking. Anyway, love you all. Hope you have a great week. Happy summer, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.